Willesden Lacey Shakespeare Company present Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare, Part 2.
Gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds, towards Phoebus' lodging. Such a waggoner as Phaeton would whip you to the west, and bring in cloudy night immediately. Spread thy close curtain, love-performing night, that runaways' eyes may wink, and Romeo leap to these arms, untalked of and unseen. Come, night. Come, Romeo, come thou day in night, for thou wilt lie upon the wings of night, whiter than new snow on a raven's back. Come, gentle night, come, loving black-browed night, give me my Romeo, and when he shall die, take him, and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night, and pay no worship to the garish sun. Oh, I have bought the mansion of a love, but not possessed it, and though I am sold, not yet enjoyed. So tedious is this day, as is the night before some festival, to an impatient child that hath new robes, and may not wear them. Oh, here comes my nurse. Now, nurse, what news? Why dost thou wring thy hands?
Oh, well a day, he's dead. He's dead, he's dead. We are undone, lady, we are undone. Oh, alack the day, he's gone. He's killed, he's dead. You'd ever have thought it? Romeo.
Hath Romeo slain himself? Say thou but I, and that bare-foul eye shall poison more than the death-darting eye of cockatrice.
I saw the wound. I saw it with my own eyes. God save the mark here on his manly breast.
Oh, break my heart. Poor bankrupt, break at once.
Oh, Tybalt, the best friend I had. Oh, courteous Tybalt, honest gentleman, that ever I should live to see thee dead.
What storm is this that blows so contrary? Is Romeo slaughtered? And is Tybalt dead? My dear loved cousin and my dear lord. Then, dreadful trumpet, sound the general doom. For who is living if these two are gone?
Tybalt is gone, and Romeo banished. Romeo that killed him, he is banished.
Oh God, did Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood?
It did, alas the day, it did.
Oh, serpent heart, hid with a flowering face. Did ever dragon keep so fair a cave? A damned saint, an honourable villain. Was ever book containing such vile matter so fairly bound? Oh, that deceit should dwell in such a gorgeous palace.
There's no trust, no faith, no honesty in men, all perjured. Oh, these griefs, these woes, these sorrows make me old. Shame come to Romeo.
Blistered be thy tongue for such a wish. He was not born to shame. Upon his brow shame is ashamed to sit. Oh, what a beast was I to chide at him.
Will you speak well of him that killed your cousin?
Shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? Oh, poor my lord! What tongue shall smooth thy name when I, thy 3 hours wife, have mangled it? But wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my cousin? That villain cousin would have killed my husband. Oh, back, foolish tears, back to your native spring. My husband lives, that Tybalt would have slain. And Tybalt's dead, that would have slain my husband. All this is comfort, wherefore weep I then? Tybalt is dead, and Romeo banished. That banished, that one word banished, hath slain 10,000 Tybalts. That word is father, mother, Tybalt, Romeo, Juliet, all slain, all dead. Romeo is banished. There is no end, no limit, measure bound in that word's death. Come, nurse, I'll to my bed, and death, not Romeo, take my maidenhead.
Hie you to your chamber. I'll find Romeo to comfort you. I wot well where he is. Hark ye, your Romeo will be here at night. I'll to him. He is hid at Laurence's cell.
Oh, find him. Give this ring to my true knight, and bid him come to take his last farewell.
Romeo, come forth. Come forth, thou faithful man. I bring thee tidings of the prince's doom.
What less than doomsday is the prince's doom?
A gentler judgment vanished from his lips. Not body's death, but body's banishment.
Ha! Banishment! Be merciful, say death. For exile hath more terror in his look, much more than death. Do not say banishment.
Hence from Verona art thou banished. Be patient, for the world is broad and wide.
There is no world without Verona walls, but purgatory, torture, hell itself. Hence banished is banished from the world.
O deadly sin! O rude unthankfulness! Thy fault our law calls death. But the kind prince, taking thy part, hath rushed aside the law, and turned that black word death to banishment. This is dear mercy, and thou seest it not.
'Tis torture and not mercy. Heaven is here, where Juliet lives. And every cat and dog and little mouse, every unworthy thing, live here in heaven and may look on her. But Romeo may not. And say'st thou that exile is not death? Banished. Oh, friar, the damned use that word in hell. Howlings attend it. How hast thou the heart, being a divine, a ghostly confessor, a sin absolver, and my friend professed, to mangle me with that word, banished?
Thou fond madman, hear me, but speak a word.
Oh, thou wilt speak again of banishment.
I'll give thee armour to keep off that word. Adversity's sweet milk philosophy, to comfort thee though thou art banished.
Yet banished! Hang up philosophy.
What knocks, good Romeo? Hide thyself. How have I knock? Who's there? Romeo, arise, thou wilt be taken. Stay a while. Stand up. Oh, knock so hard? Whence come you? What's your will?
I come from Lady Juliet.
Welcome, then.
Oh, holy friar. Oh, tell me, holy friar, where is my lady's lord? Where's Romeo?
There on the ground, with his own tears made drunk.
Oh, he is even in my mistress's case. Stand up. Stand up. Stand, and you be a man for Juliet's sake. For her sake, rise and stand.
Speakest thou of Juliet? How is it with her?
Oh, she says nothing, sir, but weeps and now falls on her bed. And then starts up and Tybalt cries, and then on Romeo cries, and then down falls again.
As if that name shot from the deadly level of a gun did murder her. as that those cursed hand murdered her kinsman. Oh, tell me, friar, tell me, in what vile part of this anatomy doth my name lodge? Tell me, and I may snack the hateful mansion.
Hold thy desperate hand! I thought thy disposition was better tempered. Hast thou slain Tybalt? Wilt thou slay thyself, and slay thy lady too that lives in thee, by doing damned hate upon thyself? What rouse thee, man? Thy Juliet is alive, for whose dear sake thou wast but lately dead. There thou art happy. Tybalt would kill thee, but thou slewest Tybalt. There art thou happy too. The law that threatened death becomes thy friend and turns it to exile. There art thou happy. A pack of blessings lights upon thy back, but like a misbehaved and sullen wretch thou pout'st upon thy fortune and thy love. Go, get thee to thy love, as was decreed. Ascend her chamber, hence and comfort her. But look, thou stayest not till the watch be set, for then thou canst not pass to Mantua, where thou shalt live till we can find a time to blaze your marriage, reconcile your friends, beg pardon of the prince, and call thee back. Go before us, commend me to thy lady, and bid her hasten all the house to bed, which heavy sorrow makes them apt unto. Romeo is coming.
Oh, Lord, I could have stayed here all the night to hear good counsel. Oh, what learning is. My lord, I'll tell my lady you will come. Here, sir, a ring she bid me give you, sir. Are you? Make haste, for it grows very late.
How well my comfort is revived by this.
Go hence. Good night. And here stands all your state, either begun before the watch be set, or by the break of day, disguised from hence sojourn in Mantua. I'll find out your man, and he shall signify from time to time every good hap to you that chances here. Give me thy hand. 'Tis late. Farewell. Good night.
But that a joy past joy calls out on me, it were a grief so brief to part with thee.
Things have fallen out, sir, so unluckily that we have had no time to move our daughter. Look you, she loved her kinsman Tybalt dearly, and so did I. Well, we were born to die. 'Tis very late. She'll not come down tonight. I promise you, but for your company I would have been in bed an hour ago.
These times of woe afford no time to woo. Madam, good night. Commend me to your daughter.
I will, and know her mind early tomorrow. Tonight she is mute in her heaviness.
Sir Paris, I will make a desperate tender of my child's love. I think she will be ruled in all respects by me. Nay, more, I doubt it not. Wife, go you to her ere you go to bed. Acquaint her here of my son Paris's love, and bid her mark you me on Wednesday next. Oh, but soft, what day is this?
Monday, my lord.
Monday? Well, Wednesday is too soon. On Thursday let it be, on Thursday tell her. She shall be married to this noble earl. Will you be ready? Do you like this haste?
My lord, I would that Thursday were tomorrow.
Well, get you gone. Or Thursday be it then. Go you to Juliet ere you go to bed. Prepare her, wife, against this wedding day. Farewell, my lord. Like to my chamber, ho, for me. It is so very, very late that we may call it early by and by. Good night.
Wilt thou be gone? It is not yet near day. It was the nightingale, and not the lark, that pierced the fearful hollow of thine ear. Nightly she sings on yon pomegranate tree. Believe me, love, it was the nightingale.
It was the lark, the herald of the morn, no nightingale. Look, love, what envious streaks do lace the severing clouds in yonder east. Night's candles are burned out, and jocund day stands tiptoe on the misty mountain tops. I must be gone and live, or stay and die.
Yon light is not daylight, I know it, aye. It is some meteor that the sun exhales to be to thee this night a torchbearer, and light thee on thy way to Mantua. Therefore stay yet, thou needst not to be gone.
Let me be ta'en. Let me be put to death. I'm content, so thou will have it so. I'll say yon grey is not the morning's eye, 'tis but the pale reflex of Cynthia's brow. Nor that is not the lark, whose notes do beat the vaulty heavens so high above our heads. I have more care to stay than will to go. Come, death, and welcome! Juliet wills it so. How's it, my soul? Let's talk, it is not day.
It is. Hie hence, be gone, away. It is the lark that sings so out of tune, straining harsh discords and unpleasing sharps. Oh, now be gone. More light and light it grows.
More light and light, more dark and dark our woe.
Shh.
Madam,
Nurse?
your lady mother is come into your chamber. The day is broke. Be wary, look about.
Then, window, let day in and let life out.
Farewell, farewell. One kiss and I'll descend.
Art thou gone so? Love, lord, I, husband, friend. I must hear from thee every day in the hour, for in a minute there are many days. Oh, by this count, I shall be much in years ere I again behold my Romeo.
Farewell. I will omit no opportunity that will convey my greetings, love, to thee.
Oh, think'st thou we shall ever meet again?
I doubt it not. And all these woes shall serve for sweet discourse in our time to come.
Oh, God, I have an ill divining soul. Methinks I see thee, now thou art below, as one dead in the bottom of a tomb. Either my eyesight fails, or thou look'st pale.
And trust me, love, in mine eye so do you. Dry sorrow drinks our blood. Adieu, adieu.
Ho, daughter, are you up? Why, how now, Juliet?
Madam, I'm not well.
Evermore weeping for your cousin's death? What, wilt thou wash him from his grave with tears? And if thou couldst not make him live. Therefore have done. Some grief shows much of love, but much of grief shows still some want of wit.
Yet let me weep for such a feeling loss.
Well, girl, thou weepst not so much for his death as that the villain lives which slaughtered him.
What villain, madam?
That same villain, Romeo.
Villain and he be many miles asunder. God pardon him. I do with all my heart. Yet no man like he doth grieve my heart.
That is because the traitor murderer lives.
Ay, madam. From the reach of these my hands would none but I might venge my cousin's death.
We will have vengeance for it, fear thou not.
Indeed, I shall never be satisfied with Romeo till I behold him dead.
But now I'll tell thee joyful tidings, girl.
What are they? I beseech your ladyship.
Well, thou hast a careful father, child. One who, to put thee from thy heaviness, hath sorted out a sudden day of joy that thou expectest not, nor I looked not for.
Madam, in happy time, what day is that?
Marry, my child, early next Thursday morn. the gallant, young and noble gentleman. The county Paris at St. Peter's Church shall happily make thee there a joyful bride.
Now, by St. Peter's Church and Peter too, he shall not make me there a joyful bride. I wonder at this haste that I must wed, ere he that should be husband comes to woo. I pray you, tell my lord and father, madam, I will not marry yet. And when I do, I swear it shall be Romeo, whom you know I hate, rather than Paris. These are news indeed.
Here comes your father. Tell him so yourself and see how he will take it at your hands.
How now, a convent girl? What, still in tears? Have you delivered to her our decree?
Ay, sir, but she will none. She gives you thanks. I would the fool were married to her grave.
How? Will she none? Doth she not give us thanks? Is she not proud? Doth she not count her blessed, unworthy as she is, that we have wrought so worthy a gentleman to be her bridegroom?
Proud can I never be of what I hate, but thankful even for hate that is meant love.
How now, chop logic, what is this? Thank me no thankings, nor proud me no prouds, but fettle your fine joints 'gainst Thursday next, to go with Paris to St. Peter's Church.
Good father, I beseech you on my knees, hear me with patience but to speak a word.
I tell thee what, get thee to church o' Thursday, or never after look me in the face. God's bread, it makes me mad. Day, night, hour, tide, time, work, play, alone, in company, still my care hath been to have her matched. And having now provided a gentleman of noble parentage, to answer, I'll not wed, I cannot love, I am too young, I pray you pardon me. Oh, graze where you will, you shall not house with me, nor what is mine shall ever do thee good. Trust to it, bethink you, I'll not be forsworn.
Is there no pity sitting in the clouds that sees into the bottom of my grief? Oh, sweet my mother, cast me not away. Delay this marriage for a month, a week. Or, if you do not, make the bridal bed in that dim monument where Tybalt lies.
Talk not to me, for I'll not speak a word. Do as thou wilt, for I have done with thee.
Oh, God. Oh, nurse, how shall this be prevented? My husband is on earth, my faith in heaven. What sayst thou? Hast thou not a word of joy? Some comfort, nurse.
Faith, here it is. I think it best you marry with the county. Oh, he's a lovely gentleman. I think you are happy in this second match, for it excels your first. Or if it did not, your first is dead. Or 'twas good as he were, his loving ear, and you no use of him.
Speakest thou from thy heart?
And from my soul too, or else beshrew them both.
Amen.
What?
Well, thou hast comforted me marvellous much. Go in and tell my lady I'm gone, having displeased my father, to Laurence's cell, to make confession and to be absolved.
Marry, I will. And this is wisely done.
Ancient damnation! Oh, most wicked fiend! Is it more sin to wish me thus forsworn, or to dispraise my lord with that same tongue which she hath praised him with above compare so many 1,000 times? Go, counsellor. Thou and my bosom henceforth shall be twain. Oh, to the friar, to know his remedy. If all else fail, myself have power to die.
On Thursday, sir. The time is very short.
My father, Capulet, will have it so, and I am nothing slow to slack his haste.
You say you do not know the lady's mind, and even is the course, like it not.
Immoderately she weeps for Tybalt's death, and therefore have I little talked of love, for Venus smiles not in a house of tears, Now, sir, her father counts it dangerous that she doth give her sorrow so much sway, and in his wisdom hastes our marriage to stop the inundation of her tears. Now do you know the reason of this haste?
Would I knew not why it should be slowed. Look, sir, here comes the lady toward my cell.
Happily met, my lady, and my wife.
That may be, sir, when I may be a wife.
That may be, must be, love, on Thursday next.
What must be shall be.
That's a certain text.
Come you to make confession to this father?
To answer that, I should confess to you.
Do not deny to him that you love me.
Are you at leisure, Holy Father, now, or shall I come to you at evening mass?
My leisure serves me, pensive daughter, now. My lord, we must entreat the time alone.
God shield I should disturb devotion. Juliet, on Thursday early will I rouse ye. Till then, adieu, and keep this holy kiss.
Oh, Juliet, I already know thy grief. It strains me past the compass of my wits. I knew I must, and nothing may prorogue it, on Thursday next be married to this county.
Tell me not, Friar, that thou hearst of this, unless thou tell me how I may prevent it. If in thy wisdom thou canst give no help, do thou but call my resolution wise, and with this knife I'll help it presently.
Oh, daughter, I do spy a kind of hope, which craves as desperate an execution as that is desperate which we would prevent. If rather than to marry County Paris thou hast the strength of will to slay thyself, then is it likely thou wilt undertake a thing like death to chide away this shame, that copest with death himself to escape from it? And if thou darest, I'll give thee remedy.
Oh, bid me leap rather than marry Paris from off the battlements of yonder tower, or shut me nightly in a charnel house, covered quite with dead men's rattling bones. And I will do it without fear or doubt, to live an unstained wife to my sweet love.
Hold then. Go home, be merry, give consent to marry Paris. Wednesday is tomorrow. Tomorrow night, look that thou lie alone. Let not thy nurse lie with thee in thy chamber. Take thou this phial, being then in bed, and this distilled liquor drink thou off, when presently through all thy veins shall run a cold and drowsy humour. For no pulse shall keep his native progress, but surcease. No warmth, no breath shall testify thou livest. Thou shalt continue 42 hours, and then awake, as if from a pleasant sleep. Now, when the bridegroom in the morning comes to rouse thee from thy bed, there art thou dead. Then, as the manner of our country is, in thy best robes uncovered on the bier, shalt thou be borne to that same ancient vault where all the kindreds of the Capulets lie. In the meantime, against thou shalt awake, shall Romeo by my letters know our drift, and hither shall he come, and he and I will watch thee waking. And that very night shall Romeo bear thee hence to Mantua, and this shall free thee from this present shame, if no inconstant toy nor womanish fears shall abate thy valour in the acting of it.
Give me.
Be strong and prosperous in this resolve. I sent a friar with speed to Mantua, with my letters to thy lord.
Love, give me strength, and strength shall help afford. Farewell, dear father.
What, is my daughter gone to Friar Laurence?
Aye, forsooth.
Well, you may chance to do some good on her. A peevish, self-willed harlotry it is.
See where she comes from shrift with merry look.
Now, my headstrong, where have you been gadding?
Where I have learned me to repent the sin of disobedient opposition to you and your behests, and am enjoined by holy Laurence to fall prostrate here, and beg your pardon. Pardon, I beseech you. Henceforward I am ever ruled by you.
Send for the county. Go tell him of this. I'll have this knot knit up tomorrow morning.
I met the youthful lord at Laurence's cell, and gave him what becomed love I might, not step o'er the bounds of modesty.
Why, I am glad on it. This is well. Stand up. This is as it should be.
Nurse, will you go with me into my closet to help me sort such needful ornaments as you think fit to furnish me tomorrow?
Go, nurse. Go with her.
I have a faint cold fear thrills through my veins that almost freezes up the heat of life. What if this mixture do not work at all? Shall I be married then, tomorrow morning? No, this shall forbid it. Lie thou there. What if it be a poison, which the friar subtly hath ministered to have me dead, lest in this marriage he should be dishonoured, because he married me before to Romeo? I fear it is, and yet methinks it should not, for he hath still been tried a holy man. How if, when I am laid into the tomb, I wake before the time that Romeo come to redeem me? Oh, there's a fearful point. Oh, alack, it is not like that. I, so early waking, shall be distraught, and fear, methinks, to see my cousin's ghost, seeking out Romeo, that did spit his body upon a rapier's point. Stay, Tybalt, stay. Romeo, I come. This do I drink to thee.
Mistress! What, Mistress Juliet? Fast, I warrant her. Why, lamb! Why, lady! Oh, fie, you slug a bed. Sleep for a week. For the next night, I warrant the canty parrot has set up his rest, that you shall rest but little. Oh, God forgive me, Mary and Emin. How sound is she asleep? I must needs wake her. Madam! Madam! I must needs wake you. Lady! Alas. Help! My lady's dead. Oh, well a day that ever I was born. Some aqua vitae. Oh, my lord! My lady!
What noise is here?
Oh, lamentable day.
What is the matter?
Look. Oh, heavy day.
Oh, me! Oh, me! My child, my only life! Revive, look up, or I will die with thee!
For shame! Bring Juliet forth, her lord is come.
Alack the day, she's dead. She's dead. She's dead!
Ha! Let me see her. Out, alas. She's cold. Her blood is settled, and her joints are stiff. Life and these lips have long been separated. Death lies on her like an untimely frost upon the sweetest flower of all the field.
Come, is the bride ready to go to church?
Ready to go, but never to return. O son, the night before thy wedding day hath death lain with thy wife. There she lies, flower as she was, deflowered by him.
Have I thought long to see this morning's face? And doth it give me such a sight as this?
Accursed, unhappy, wretched, hateful day. Most miserable hour that e'er time saw in lasting labour of his pilgrimage. But one poor and loving child. But one thing to rejoice and solace in, and cruel death hath catched it from my sight.
Most detestable death, by thee beguiled.
Dead art thou? Alack! My child is dead, and with my child my joys are buried.
Peace, ho! For shame! Confusion's cure lives not in these confusions. Heaven and yourself had part in this fair maid. Now, heaven hath all, and all the better it is for the maid. Dry up your tears, and stick your rosemary on this fair corse, and, as the custom is, in all her best array, bear her to church. For though fond nature bids us unlament, yet nature's tears are reason's merriment.
All things that we ordained festival turn from their office to black funeral. Our instruments to melancholy bells, our wedding cheer to sad burial feast, our solemn hymns to sullen dirges change, our bridal flowers serve for the buried corse, and all things change them to the contrary.
Sir, go you in, and madam, go with him, and go Sir Paris. Every one prepare to follow this fair course unto her grave. The heavens do lour upon you for some ill. Move them no more by crossing their high will.
If I may trust the flattering truth of sleep, my dreams presage some joyful news at hand. I dreamt my lady came and found me dead. Strange dream that gives a dead man leave to think, and breathed such life with kisses in my lips that I revived and was an emperor. Ah me, how sweet is love itself possessed, when but love's shadows are so rich in joy. News from Verona! How now, Balthazar? Dost thou not bring me letters from the friar? Well, how doth my lady? Is my father well? How fares my Juliet? That I'll ask again, for nothing can be ill if she be well.
Then she is well, and nothing can be ill. Oh, her body sleeps in Capel's monument, and her immortal part with angels lives. I saw her laid low in her kindred's vault, and presently took post to tell it you. Pardon me for bringing these ill news, since you did leave it for my office, sir.
Is it even so? Then I defy you, stars! Thou knowest my lodging. Get me ink and paper, and hire post-horses. I will hence tonight.
No, I do beseech you, sir, have patience. Your looks are pale and wild, and do import some misadventure.
Tush, thou art deceived. Leave me, and do the thing I bid thee do. Hast thou no letters to me from the friar?
No, my good lord.
No matter. Get thee gone, and hire those horses. I'll be with thee straight. Well, Juliet, I will lie with thee tonight. Let's see for means. Oh, mischief, thou art swift to enter into the thoughts of desperate men. I do remember an apothecary, and hereabout he dwells, which late I noted in tattered weeds, with overwhelming brows, culling of simples. Meagre were his looks, as I remember, this should be the house. Being holiday, the beggar's shop is shut. What ho, apothecary!
Who calls so loud?
Come hither, man. I see that thou art poor. Hold. There is 40 ducats. Let me have a dram of poison. Such soon speeding gears will disperse itself through all the veins that the life-weary taker may fall dead, and that the trunk may be discharged of breath as violently as hasty powder fire doth hurry from the fatal cannon's wound.
Such mortal drugs I have, but Mantua's law is death to any he that utters them.
Art thou so bare and full of wretchedness, and fearst to die? Famine is in thy cheeks. Need and oppression starveth in thine eye. Contempt and beggary hangs upon thy back. The world is not thy friend, nor the world's law. The world affords no law to make thee rich. Then be not poor, but break it, and take this.
My poverty, but not my will, consents.
I pay thy poverty, and not thy will.
Put this in any liquid thing you will, and drink it off, and if you had the strength of 20 men, it would dispatch you straight.
There is thy gold. Worse poison to men's souls, doing more murders in this loathsome world than these poor compounds that thou mayest not sell. I sell thee poison, thou hast sold me none. Farewell. Buy food and get thyself in flesh. Come. Cordial and not poison. Go with me to Juliet's grave, for there I must use thee.
Holy Franciscan friar, brother, ho!
This same should be the voice of Friar John. Welcome from Mantua. What says Romeo? Oh, if his mind be writ, give me his letter.
Alas, I was forbidden entrance there. The officers had sealed the city gates, suspecting an infectious plague therein, so that my speed to Mantua there was stayed.
Oh, bear my letter then to Romeo.
I could not send it, here it is again, nor get a messenger to bring it thee. So fearful were they of infection.
Oh, happy unfortune. By my brotherhood, the letter was not nice, but full of charge of dear import, and the neglecting it may do much danger. Friar John, go hence, get me an iron crow, and bring it straight unto my cell.
Brother, I'll go and bring it thee.
Now must I to the monument alone. Within 3 hours will fair Juliet wake. She will beshrew me much that Romeo hath no notice of these accidents. But I will write again to Mantua, and keep her at my cell till Romeo come. Poor living corse, closed in a dead man's tomb.
Give me thy torch, boy. Hence and stand aloof, and signal if thou hearst someone approach. Give me those flowers. Do as I bid thee. Go.
I am almost afraid to stand here alone in the churchyard, yet I will adventure.
Sweet flower, with flowers thy bridal bed I strew. The obsequies that I for thee will keep nightly shall be to strew thy grave, and weep. The boy gives warning something doth approach. What cursed foot wanders this way tonight, to cross my obsequies and true love's right?
Hold. Take this letter. early in the morning see thou deliver it to my lord and father. Give me the right. Upon thy life, I charge thee, whatever thou hearest or seest, stand all aloof, and do not interrupt me in my course. Why I descend into this bed of death is partly to behold my lady's face, but chiefly to thence take from her dead finger a precious ring, a ring I must use in dear employment. Therefore hence, be gone.
I will be gone, sir, and not trouble you.
So shalt thou show me friendship. Take thou that. Live and be prosperous, and farewell. Good fellow.
For all the same, I'll hide me hereabout. His looks I fear, and his intents I doubt.
Thou detestable Moor, thou womb of death, gorged with the dearest morsel of the earth. Thus I enforce thy rotten jaws to open.
Stop thy unhallowed toil, vile Montague. Can vengeance be pursued further than death? Condemned villain, I do apprehend thee. Obey, and go with me, for thou must die.
I must indeed, and therefore came I hither. Good gentle youth, tempt not a desperate man. Put not another sin upon my head by urging me to fury. Oh, be gone. By heaven, I love thee better than I love myself, for I have come hither armed against myself. Stay not, be gone. Live, and hereafter say, a madman's mercy bade thee run away.
I do defy thy conjurations, and apprehend thee for a felon here.
Wilt thou provoke me? Then have at thee, boy. Mercutio's kinsman, noble county Paris, death lie thou there by a dead man interred. Oh, my love, my wife, death that hath sucked the honey of thy breath hath had no power yet upon thy beauty. Thou art not conquered. Beauty's ensign yet is crimson in thy lips and in thy cheeks, and death's pale flag is not advanced there. Why art thou yet so fair? Shall I believe that unsubstantial death is amorous, that the lean, abhorred monster keeps thee here in the dark to be his paramour? For fear of that I will stay with thee, and never from this place of dim night depart again. Here I will remain with worms that are thy chambermaids. Oh, here I will set up my everlasting rest, and shake the yoke of inauspicious stars from this world-wearied flesh. Eyes, look your last. Arms, take your last embrace. And lips, oh, you the doors of breath seal with a righteous kiss, a dateless bargain to engrossing death. Come, bitter conduct, come, unsavoury guide. Thou desperate pilot, now at once run on the dashing rocks by the sea-sick, weary bark. Here's to my love. Oh, true apothecary, thy drugs are quick. Thus with a kiss I die.
Romeo? 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 closed in my true love's hand. Poison I see had been his timeless end. Oh, churl! Drunk all and left no friendly drop to help me after. I will kiss thy lips. Haply some poison yet doth hang on them, to make die with a restorative. Thy lips are warm. Oh, happy dagger, this is thy sheath. Here rust, and let me die.
St. Francis be my speed. How oft have my old feet stumbled at graves? Who's there?
Here's one, a friend, and one that knows you well.
Bliss be upon you. Tell me, good my friend, what torch is yon that vainly lends his light to grubs and eyeless skulls? As I discern it, burneth in the chapel's monument.
It doth so, holy sir, and there's my master, one that you love.
Who is it?
Romeo.
Well, how long hath he been there?
Full half an hour.
Go with me to the vault. Romeo! Alack, alack. What blood is this that stains the stony entrance of this sepulchre? What mean these merciless and gory swords to lie discoloured by this place of peace?
This is the place. There, where the torch doth burn.
The ground is bloody. Search about the churchyard. Go, some of you, where you find a touch. Pitiful sight, here lies the county slain, and Juliet bleeding, warm and newly dead.
Here's Romeo's man.
Hold him in safety till the prince come hither.
Here is a friar that trembles, sighs and weeps.
A great suspicion. Stay the friar too.
What misadventures is so early up? That calls our person from our morning's rest.
What should it be? That they so shriek abroad?
Sovereign, here lies the county Paris slain and Romeo dead, and Juliet dead before, warm and new killed.
Search, seek, and know how this foul murder comes.
Here's a friar, and slaughtered Romeo's man, with instruments upon them fit to open these dead men's tombs.
Oh me, this sight of death is as a bell that warns my old age to a sepulchre.
Come, Montague, for thou art early up, to see thy son and heir more early down. Look, and thou shalt see.
O thou untaught, what manners is in this? To press before thy mother to a grave?
Seal up the mouth of outrage for a while, till we can clear these ambiguities. Priest, say at once what thou dost know in this.
Romeo, there dead, was husband to that Juliet. And she, there dead, that Romeo's faithful wife. I married them, and their stolen marriage day was Tybalt's doomsday, whose untimely death banished the new-made bridegroom from the city, for whom, and not for Tybalt, Juliet pined. You, to remove that siege of grief from her, betrothed, and would have married her perforce to county Paris. And comes she to me, and with wild looks bid me devise some mean to rid her of this second marriage, or in my cell there would she kill herself. Then gave I her, so tutored by my art, a sleeping potion, which so took effect as I intended, for it wrought on her the form of death. Meantime, I writ to Romeo that he should hither come as this dire night to help take her from her borrowed grave, being the time the potion's force should cease. But he which bore my letter Friar John was stayed by accident, and yesternight returned my letter back. Then, all alone, at the prefixed hour of her waking, came I to take her from her kindred's vault, meaning to keep her closely at my cell till I conveniently could send to Romeo. But she, too desperate, did violence on herself.
Bring Balthazar forth. What can you say in this?
I brought my master news of Juliet's death, and then in post he came from Mantua to this same place, to this same monument. This letter he early bid me give his father.
Give me the letter. I will look on it. This letter doth make good the friar's words. Their course of love, the tidings of her death, and here he writes that he did buy a poison of a poor apothecary, and therewithal came to this vault to die, and lie with Juliet. Where be these enemies? Capulet, Montague, see what a scourge is laid upon your hate, that heaven finds means to kill your joys with love. And I, for winking at your discords too, have lost a brace of kingsmen. All are punished.
Oh, brother Montague, give me thy hand. This is my daughter's jointure, for no more can I demand.
But I can give thee more, for I will raise her statue in pure gold, that while Verona by that name is known, there shall no figure at such rate be set as that of true and faithful Juliet.
As rich shall Romeo's by his lady's lie. Poor sacrifices of our enmity.
A glooming peace this morning with it brings. The sun, for sorrow, will not show his head. Go hence to have more talk of these sad things. Some shall be pardoned, and some punished. For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo.
That was William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. The part of Romeo was played by John Day, Juliet by Becky Bond, Friar Laurence, Bob Hamilton, Mercutio, Elodie Foray, Tybalt, James Abbott, Capulet, Peter Westmacott, the nurse, Ali Hannant, Lady Capulet, Nitty Scott, Paris by Mike Fenn, Benvolio, Cat Callow, the Prince, Ed Butcher, Montague, Pip Rolls, Samson, Becca Kent, Gregory, Claire Howes, Abraham and the Apothecary by Mark Dobson, Balthazar and Friar John by Jamie McFadden, Lady Montague, Frankie Gray, Servant to Capulet, Winnie Duggan, Servant to Lady Capulet, Lauren de Freitas, and Paris's Page by Eleanor May Mason. Recorded remotely under strict social distancing during the coronavirus lockdown. Direction and audio production by Gary Andrews.